And now I gotta emphasize with that and put it into my game plan.
Yep. Yeah. See, Baiken.
Yeah. All right. So you called it out for sure. I think I agree with you after you laid it out there. Now it's just a matter of, okay, how does Coma respond to this? By getting hit immediately.
What I'm assuming that Coma's going to try and do is like these low committal eddy pokes. Maybe maybe not so much Mawaru, but maybe a little bit more of the drill. Things that push Baiken back, because even if Baiken gets that hit, I think Eddie has the mobility to stay away from Baiken.
Yes.
But see, like these low committal pokes.
And I really appreciate that a lot there. Just like, you low committal pokes, trying to play as smart as you can, and it seems to be working very, very well here because, Dreamer is running into a lot of that. I think it goes back into like the Zoomer thing a little bit, right? I gotta press buttons, I gotta get in, I gotta stay in there. It's like, you have guard cancels, you do not need to.
You have plenty of time to like sit and wait and kind of force Eddie to play your game.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the thing about Baku there is that you have Eddie out. Baku's gonna get eaten by Eddie. You're not getting anything out of it. It's just hitting the shadow.
Okay.
FBC Tatami. So something that's not very well known, because there's not a lot of Baikens out there already, and then even less Baikens that do it. Is they have an FTC that they can do, which will make them super plus when they do Tatami.
Okay, right? Gotcha.
Because it gives them enough time to throw the Tatami mat out so that they get the air hit, and then they also get it from when it hits the ground. But by the time it hits you while it's on the ground, they've already landed. It's not the same as Puree, because Puree hits lower to the ground. You don't have the same amount of frame rate.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, hopefully we see some of that. Ooh, yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully we see some of that high-level stuff here. But right now, just Coma is just playing such a very, very patient game that, those opportunities aren't even gonna arise because just trying to get in and trying to do as much damage as possible through like physical means, it's like, once again, you can kind of chill back a little bit. Yeah,
Coma definitely knows that you can't run your vortex, and like you haven't seen him try it. I think at most we saw one Mawaru while Dreamer was in the corner, and that's it.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, and see, this is another issue in the matchup in Baiken's favor. Eddie has I believe it's 1.03 defense modifier. It's either 1.03 or 1.06, but they have no guts.
Gotcha. Well, whether you're Gutsman or Gutsman's ass right now, the gutsy plays from Dreamer just seem to not be amounting out to much anything, unfortunately. And just, Coma's patience right now, it might be setting, Dreamer to sleep, but is exactly what's needed right now.
In a situation like this, not knowing who the other player is, and just like kind of assuming from that first game, because you can kind of tell that they have an older play style.
Right.
I think the better pick would have been to go Abba. Because before rollback, how many Abbas were there?
Yeah, like one. And if it wasn't Skeleton Mini in your area, you had no experience.
Exactly. So there's like a slight lack of knowledge, and then Abba's developed even more since Skeletal started playing the character. So if you played when rollback came out, Abba's a different character.
Right. Like entirely. Like a lot of the meta has changed a lot here, but I mean, nothing wrong with like basic Baiken play, but we haven't seen much more than basic Baiken play so far.
Like we've seen a few versions.
Ooh. I was scared. Sorry. Go ahead.
That means that Tommy's very good here. That JH is also very good because Eddie's main anti-air isn't very disjointed, right? And JH hits super deep. You're fine just throwing it out there on a jump.
Right. But now, this is, there it is, a 2H again. And gonna use the anti-air from Little Eddie as well as a confirmed. Great stuff from Coma. Coma's in there.
So what we're seeing here, again, and it's been happening with a lot of like the older players, is that block has gotten so close to zero.
Yes. This is like every single time. It's like, look, I can wait all day. The timer can decide who wins there, and I am absolutely fine with that. I'll do the Floyd Mayweather. That's okay.
Like it's all coming back to that patience. There's a very distinct like you can tell based on how patient somebody is being, right? Especially in situations like these, you can see that Dreamers are pretty flustered. They're not sitting back, even though they can.
Yeah, because Baiken still has, for what it's worth, actually decent buttons. So it's like, you can play a little bit of a poke game. You can try to prevent little Eddie from coming in as well. And like even case like point like that, if you're gonna summon, I'm gonna jump in there when I'm actually close enough. But this 2H is just outpacing. But that's a good starter. Gets the combo. Yes.
Oh no, they didn't have the meter for the FRC.
Oh no, that's unfortunate there. Has 50 meter on Eddie's side, but it's not really gonna do much in the neutral. Yeah. All right, good stuff. The Dreamer, they're getting on the board finally. Now what comes next here?
Yeah, that's Tommy's putting in work.
And that's exactly what you need to do. You have the time in the world, just, do some safer tatamis. Don't always have to rush in. Just put it on the table, see if you can kill Eddie along the way, and then close the distance.
I think a little more patience on Dreamer's part, being a little bit more defensive. You're playing a character that has cracked defense already.
Right, exactly.
Just be a little bit more defensive. If you're playing against Eddie, their pressure should not scare you in any way.
Yeah.
And by you going in, by you doing unsafe things, you jumping at them, Dreamer's essentially handing Coma this damage.
And it's
like right there.
It's a point. It's like you have so much meter, just use the FD to get down to the ground safely, because on the ground is where you can actually guard cancel.
So something that we're seeing, something that Coma's been doing a lot in every game that I've seen, is that they're very good at placing Eddie in order to catch people falling.